Stomach bloated, aching joints, don't feel quite right after you eat? If so, you may very well have gluten intolerance, like I do. Today, I'm going to persuade you to eat a gluten-free diet. According to Oregon.providence.org, 3 reasons to eat gluten-free are as follows: to manage celiac disease, to control dermatitis herpetiformis, and to reduce the symptoms of gluten sensitivity. Symptoms of gluten sensitivity can sometimes mimic other issues that you may not be aware of. The easiest way to see if you are sensitive to gluten is to cut it completely out of your diet. Unfortunately, many products contain gluten, but it is not impossible to live gluten-free. More and more food manufacturers are becoming well aware of the gluten issues we as a society face and are becoming conscious of creating new products without the unnecessary gluten. As stated on health.harvard.edu, gluten-free diets are a new fad. However, they have been proven to relieve symptoms in those not diagnosed with celiac disease, such as myself. You should eat gluten-free because gluten is not a natural substance. So what exactly is gluten, you may ask? According to dmu.edu, gluten is a protein found in grass-type grains such as wheat, barley, and rye. It gives food a stretchiness and stickiness, and is in much of what Americans eat. It is in the obvious things like bread, pasta, and crackers, but it's also found in things like sauces, medications, lipstick, and other items not normally associated with grains. Because cutting gluten out of your diet is the easiest way to see if you have any type of intolerance, I challenge you to try it. I noticed a huge difference within about 3 days for myself. My stomach was less busy, it felt calm and not so uptight all the time. I did not realize how bad I felt until I felt better. Eating gluten-free, however, is not cheap, but with the right tools, you can make it a way of life that does not have to cost you an arm and a leg. As viewed in an article on ministryhealth.org, when people with celiac or gluten intolerance go gluten-free, they do feel better and more energetic, but that's because they were feeling so sick before. Those without a medical need to avoid gluten shouldn't expect such results. The writer disagrees with this because he himself had not been diagnosed with celiac or gluten intolerance, but once went gluten-free because a child of his was required to. He noticed a huge improvement in his stomach and how he felt overall, and I myself agree 100% with this statement. This article also states that the exact cause of celiac disease is unknown, yet it is estimated to affect at least 1 in 100 people. Considering how many billions of people there are in the world, the odds that you will have an intolerance to gluten are pretty high, I would say. When people with celiac disease eat any food or product containing gluten, their immune systems react, causing damage to the villi in their intestines. I compare this to a cut. If you have a cut on your hand and you do not take care of it properly, it takes longer to heal. But if you keep it clean and bandaged, it will heal quicker. If you have gluten intolerance and keep eating gluten, you do not give your intestines a chance to heal properly. I have slowly myself introduced items back into my diet since going completely gluten-free about 3 years ago. However, I know my tolerance level and I can enjoy some of those foods that I had completely cut out for quite a while. This link at monahancenter.org takes you to a fact sheet of foods that are gluten-free. This is not an all-inclusive list for sure, but I can tell you that all fresh fruits and vegetables are indeed gluten-free. Also, things such as potato chips, if they're not made with seasonings that might contain wheat or other types of gluten, they are generally gluten-free. You do not need to buy special potato chips. Just look at the ingredients. If they say potatoes, salt, and oil, then that's all that is in there, and they are gluten-free. Today, I persuaded you as to why you should eat a gluten-free diet. The health benefits are outstanding if you were to add more fresh fruits and vegetables into your diet, and you will feel better. According to depts.ttu.edu, here are some fun facts about gluten. Babies that were introduced to wheat, barley, or rye before the age of 3 months were 5 times more likely to develop celiac disease than those who were not exposed until 4 to 6 months. Celiac is most common in Ireland. It has been estimated that 10 to 15% of Americans have celiac but no symptoms. There is now genetic testing to determine your risk for celiac, and the glue on lickable stamps and envelopes often contains gluten.